We have a friend who I know him very well. I've worked with him for a couple of years, but he's got very famous nowadays in Anantapur. Anil Kumar. Anil Kumar Reddi has been in corporate life. Now he's back to his roots. He's back to Anantapur, and he's done something very mesmerizing in Anantapur where everybody in Anantapur knows him. He's chosen his hometown where he decided to do a lot of support activities for the localates, and his initiative is called Discover Ananthapur. So Discover Ananthapur has done a lot of things. He started with very small initiatives like restoring temples, and then got into social activities, a lot of support during COVID time, and many more activities coming up. So Anil, I know you well, but for the friends on this particular community, we would like to know about Anil. Anil, where is he from? Where are your roots from? About your family, and why did you choose Discover Anantapur, and why specifically Anantapur, and why did you quit your corporate life, a well-paid corporate life? You were in a C-level position, and then you moved to your hometown, quitting everything and for doing something back to Anantapur. Over
Yeah,
to you.
hi, Ravi. Thanks for this opportunity, and I'm extremely happy that I'm on your platform today. Uh,
Your honor.
so, well, I'll answer the easiest question here: why I left the corporate life. I think that's the best thing I've done in my life. So now life is peaceful. I don't run around. So it's and coming to why I chose Anantapur and a brief about my family background. Uh, Ananthapuram is not only my city's name, but it's also my family name. So we have been here for from the 18th century when Anantapur's population was just 1100. So today Anantapur's population is around 4 lakhs. So I'm the eighth generation guy here. So when I decided enough of corporate life, uh, the only thing I could see was my hometown. Now, why I chose my hometown? I think there's a huge misconception about Anantapur that people are extremely rough. The weather is horrible. There's absolutely no infrastructure. There's nothing much to see in Ananthapuram. It's not a happening place. All this, thanks to Tollywood and to a certain extent Bollywood, which portrayed this part of Andhra Pradesh as too much of drought-ridden areas and violence and all that. So I wanted to come back to my hometown since I knew what my hometown is all about. I wanted to break that misconception and tell people what the real Ananthapuram is. So that's where I said discover Ananthapuram because many people don't know what real Ananthapuram is. So that's how I came back. Then I started a small Facebook page called Discover Ananthapuram, and the whole objective was to uh, showcase Ananthapuram from a different perspective, which people have never seen before. So photography was came handy for me so that I could be a visual storyteller to people in Ananthapuram and outside Ananthapuram. And slowly that picked up. The page became quite a popular page, and my heart was always on restoring the rich culture and heritage of Ananthapuram. So that's how I decided to uh, get into villages, interiors, and find out what were those places of worship or historical importance which were neglected and just left both by the people and the government. So I started restoring 13th, 14th century uh, temples, step wells, uh, British period bridges which were abandoned, and that created a sort of heritage movement in parts of Ananthapuram. So suddenly people were thinking, who is this mad guy running around historical places of interest, which nobody is bothered about, and who is shelling out money from his pocket and restoring these places. So it gave immense happiness that, okay, now I'm restoring a 13th century stepwell, which was indeed, built during Krishnadeva period. So the icing on the cake was when I restored this stepwell and opened it to public. the real Krishnadevaraya's 10th descendant, his name also is Sri Krishnadevaraya. He saw the news article in paper and he called me and invited me home. So I went all the way to Hampi, and then,
Wow.
so that's what I call destiny. So, so I'm restoring one more 13th century temple, for which I'll bring this gentleman to Anantapur. So that is how my journey started in Ananthapuram. And then I was into that mode only, still identifying places. I was on the verge of restoring Anantapur's first hospital, which is Victoria Hospital, which was supposed to be demolished last year, but then I went ahead and brought about a GOs to restore and save that building.
Wow.
And meanwhile, COVID happened. So from, I would say, from heritage to health and humanity is where I've moved. So I started there, and now I'm also called as a man who is into taking care of healthcare workers and the healthcare warriors, I would say, rather than workers. So that's been my journey till now.
So where did this come from? Who's your inspiration?
To a large extent, I would say my mom and dad. My mom, for the simple reason being, she started a Facebook page when she was 72 years, and then,
Seriously?
she, yeah, yeah. She learned internet at 72. Then she learned Facebook at 72. Then like-minded people across the world, she brought them on a single platform called Facebook Friends Association. Okay. And then what do these people do? These people render their services to the blind, to the orphanages, to the old age homes in their respective towns and cities. So that also was pretty interesting for me. And she also, in AP, books are given to students now in
Hmm.
2021. But she started this way back in 2015, and she finished distributing 1 lakh books to the poor children of government schools. So the thought came, well, I've come here. If she can bring in a change through social media, why shouldn't I? So that's where it cropped up. So, and that's one reason. And I would also say I come from a family which has always served the society. We are called AG family here, Ananthapuram Gurgilla. So maybe it's in the genes. So I would also give credit to my genes and my dad and mom for inspiring me to take this path, which that's why I keep saying, telling people when I meet them that, my journey has just begun.
Super.
So,
So, friends, whoever have not met Anil or haven't read about Anil, I have a short movie which talks about the entire journey of support which Anil could do during COVID and before COVID. So, let me play this particular short video, and we'll come back to Anil with more questions as to what's next, what all happened, what were the challenges he faced during COVID. So, here's the video. Wow. Awesome journey, Anil. I think the images say it all. So you've done great job during the pandemic. Did you not have a fear that when you were like getting into the hospital, government hospitals, and supporting the healthcare workers with masks and other accessories? Did you not have the fear that I will also contract COVID?
That fear was there in the first phase. Uh, During first wave of COVID, I was there in the war zone, but I was documenting the entire journey of the healthcare warriors. So even then, I was in ICUs. I was interacting with. I indeed interacted with close to 400 patients and 100 doctors during the first wave. So I didn't get it then. I was not even vaccinated then. So this time I was vaccinated. I was prepared for the second wave, indeed. So I got vaccinated well ahead of the second wave, thanks to preference in vaccination for somebody who worked in during the first wave. So I was pretty confident, and this time it was a different ball game altogether. This time, I was extremely happy, eager, and too passionate to get in and help them. Last time I could only talk to them. I could only give them moral support, but this time I knew something what I'm going to do is going to save lives. So that kept me going, and yeah, I'm here in front of you, not affected even once.
Wow. So definitely people like you have a lot of blessings for sure. Because a lot of us, like, including me, we were like, uh, as my family, me, myself, safeguarding my own community, my relatives, that's been the agenda. Very few people like you have taken the step forward to go out, think about people, do something about them, do something about the entire city, and that's not easy. So who all supported this during this particular journey, and what are the things which you did differently, which where you got better attention than the others?
Okay, see, there were many people helping people on the streets in Anantapur. But then my agenda was to protect the frontline warriors because I strongly believe that if you save one nurse, you save 50 people. If you save one doctor, you save 100 people. And if you save one sanitation worker, you save 1,000 people. It's as simple as that. So the strongest link in this entire thing is a sanitation worker working at the hospitals. So for me, the VIP during COVID for me to protect was the sanitation worker, then the nurse, then the doctor. So my priorities were very clear. Uh, Coming to who supported me, my friends, my childhood classmates, and my family, the AG family, which I mentioned, each one of them, stood rock solid. When I started this project, I just, I said one fine day, I need to get in and help whatever I can do. So I knew it's going to be a huge task, both in terms of effort, time, and money. So whatever life savings I had, I pumped into this without thinking. And then my friends started helping me. My family members started helping me. This was on the how we started the program, but execution was a challenge. You would be shocked to know that this entire program of 60 days was executed by three people, including me.
Wow.
Okay, so who are these three people? Anil Kumar's driver, and another boy who lives at my place and who is studying. So two youngsters who are not vaccinated, and one middle-aged guy who is vaccinated. So these three people executed this uh, during these 60 days. So 99% of the credit goes to these two youngsters who risked their lives because they were not vaccinated, and the chances of them, really getting infected was high, but still they stood by me. So for which I'm really thankful. So indeed, one of those guys got vaccinated today.
Super, super. So first time I'm here because a lot of people have come on to the show. I've seen a lot of people on social media where they've posted various activities that they've done for healthcare workers. Sanitization workers, this is the first time I'm hearing from you who have focused on sanitization workers about their safety, because I agree with you. One sanitization worker can make a lot of difference, and he's working thanklessly. He's the most ignored person. Maybe you can thank doctor, appreciate the doctor, maybe thank the nurse, and maybe tip them because they've been closely working with you. But the most ignored person is the sanitization worker, who's very critical, especially in this particular pandemic. And hats off, because I don't think so anybody else would have thought about it or given importance to him.
See, protecting them was even more critical. I'll tell you, with specific to Andhra Pradesh. You'd be shocked to hear that during the entire second phase of COVID, not even a single sanitation worker, the contract workers, have been paid salaries. But still, they worked. They have saved
Wow.
hundreds of lives. So it was very important for me not only to save them while they were doing their duties, but also take care of them after the pandemic was over. That's why I made sure I've given them the monthly groceries to all the sanitation workers working at government hospitals because they still have to get their salaries. So I was morally obligated because they did some amazing job. If these people were not there, our hospitals would have been a mess.
True. Yeah, what can nurses and hospital, doctors do without a clean atmosphere? I think
Yeah,
it's like complete process failure. The hospital doesn't exist without these team members. Good one,
true.
good one. So did you face any challenges? Anything that I'm sure this was not a easy task. Any challenges during the entire process?
For me, the main challenge was procuring this material. See, I've distributed close to around a lakh N95 masks and a couple of lakhs of surgical masks and surgical gloves and all this. One is getting the quality stuff. Second thing is getting it on time. So India already they had taken the second wave as a huge business opportunity. So what was available for 10 rupees before was being sold at 30, 40 and all that stuff. So I had to a lot of logistics and friends abroad helped me to import these materials from Korea, from US, from Malaysia. So I was very particular that they get the best of the protection gear. Uh, it was not just distributing any mask for them because I was distributing it to the healthcare warriors, not to people. So I didn't want this whatever I was distributing to fail at any point in time. So procurement was a big challenge for me. Luckily, everything fell in place. One. Number two is giving it to these people individually, because we are a small team of three people, and we are talking about every shift. We are talking about around 600 people whom we need to get in touch with.
My God.
So there were three shifts at every government hospital. Three government hospitals are there in Anantapura. And we were to protect all these, starting from the security guy at the gate to the doctor at the IC. So going and reaching out to these people was a challenge for me. Now the easiest thing is could have been, take 5,000 masks and give it to each hospital superintendent or some nursing superintendent and say, okay, please distribute it to your people. You know how it works.
Yeah,
So
you don't know whether
uh,
it will reach them.
I didn't want to take that route at all. I said no. I'll give it to every individual. Uh, Start. So that's why we used to work from 6 in the morning till 9:30 in the night. So it used to be, a 15, 16-hour shift uh, for us from morning because we had to distribute food, then distribute medical supplies, then go to the next hospital, then do the same thing. And you need to do it, three shifts per hospital, which means 9 times you do this exercise of distributing food and medical supplies every day. So even if it takes, so that's why you can see a better flat tummy for me because it was more of an abdomen exercise for me to bending down and taking each mask and giving them. So
Anytime you felt, Anil, that this is a thankless job, why am I doing it? This is
No,
enough.
never.
No?
Never, because you know, I've seen uh, uh, nursing staff, I've seen the doctors, I've seen the security guys, I've seen sanitation workers thanking me every hour, every day, through phone calls, through messages. There were at least 100 to 120 people who had my picture as their profile picture for on their phones,
Wow.
okay, for WhatsApp and all. And there were a lot of videos being made by these guys, and they were asking me whether we can upload. I said, please don't do that. That will defeat the purpose of what I am doing. So they didn't do that, luckily. So I didn't feel it was a thankless job. I was extremely proud of what I was doing. That I knew I was saving lives. So luckily, the entire district administration, including the district collector, was behind me. So I was given access to enter into hospitals, do my work. I was, the district collector personally in front of one hospital stood, the municipal commissioner and the district collector stood there and prepared, made sheds for me to distribute food there. They indeed, I would say it was uh, an extra support from the district administration to do my work.
Wow. Super. So what's next, Anil? So what's in your mind? What are you working now on? So COVID second phase is almost fizzling down. Third wave, I think a lot of states are like getting to embrace the third wave. So what are you getting prepared for?
I'm already prepared for the third wave. All my supplies have come.
Wow.
So I've stocked all the children's masks, oxygen concentrators. Uh, then I'm ready with everything. And uh, the next one is, right now there is a program which is going on to at least support 1,000 families with groceries. So we are midway. We are identifying people who do not have ration cards, who are migrant laborers, who do not get support from the local government as far as ration is concerned. So identifying them and going there and giving them. The way we were giving quality stuff to healthcare workers, I was pretty sure these guys get the best of the things. So it has to be an Ashirwad Atta. It has to be. So I'm very particular about, even if you help
No
little people,
compromise in quality.
quality stuff,
Whether
so
it is
that they
mask
don't,
or atta, no compromise in quality.
no compromise on that. So, let me put it, if I wear them, this is what I would eat, this is what I would wear. So I don't think we should differentiate that. So that's one thing. So that will take another 15 days to complete. And within that, I'm floating something called as Green Ananthapuram. Whatever we spoke till now was called Heal Ananthapuram because Ananthapuram was suffering. And then in midway, it became Feed Ananthapuram because we distributed 1 lakh meals. And then it became Breathe Ananthapuram because there was a huge oxygen shortage. So I imported oxygen concentrators. And as we speak, there are close to 32 people on my oxygen concentrators, 4 people at their homes, post COVID care. And now it's again groceries, and then it's going to be Green Ananthapuram. So Green Ananthapuram is all about making Ananthapuram green uh, at least once in my lifetime because that's one area which is neglected. People don't value trees, and every year government spends crores of rupees for plantation, but then there is no systematic way to protect the existing trees. So my plan is about protecting them and also planting new saplings. So it's not just about planting new saplings. So normally when any government or NGO announces a greenery program, they say we have planted 10,000 saplings. My project is not about how many saplings I'm planting. It's about how many will live after 1 year.
So
So today, if you take on an average, uh, what the government does. If they plant 100 saplings, maybe 12 or 13 see the light after a year. So I'm targeting 90% success. So that's how Green Ananthapuram is going to be different from other projects. And we are also going to create India's first green village. I'll announce more details later. Right now, I can't. So
But major challenge. I mean, this is going to be a very challenging project because I have visited Ananthapuram. I have traveled across through Ananthapuram, and it's like mostly dry land and dry area. Yeah, apart from the city part of it. So it's going to be definitely a big, huge, challenging task. But yeah, I know Anil will not take anything which is easy. So all the best with that.
No, well, see, it's actually simple, Ravi. I'll tell you, when you go ahead, when you force change on people, it will not happen.
True.
What I'm doing in all these projects is I'm making people think. So I'm triggering their thought process. Even this village and green Ananthapuram project, which we are talking about, I've spoken to every villager in the village where I'm going to launch the program. Every villager, literally, I've spoken to every villager. And I've also spoken to the panchayat president, who is a uh, lady graduate. She's the panchayat president. So she realizes that this is the change which we need to see. So once you make them think, everything will fall in place. Today, you won't believe. From the last 3 4 days, these villagers are calling me saying, "Sir, when rains have come, when shall we start?" So that's exactly what I love to hear. So if they are there behind this project, I am just a catalyst, nothing beyond that. So they'll take care of those trees. It's basically every villager is going to adopt those trees and make sure they grow, and it becomes India's first green village.
Super, super. All the best,
And
Anil. And yeah,
Anantapur is green, by the way. It's not just shades of brown,
I
and
know.
more greenery very soon.
So I would love to see that. Yeah, if Ladakh, I mean, Sonam Wangdu can, transform Ladakh, which has been, recognized as a most beautiful desert. If there can be a transformation done there, I'm sure Anantapur also can be transformed. So you will be called the local Sonam Wangdu of Anantapur, who does a lot of transformation. So anything you want to say to the to friends who are watching this? Any message you want to pass on before we end the show?
I don't say it's a message, but then I would say what I believed in. Each one of us have this urge to question government, urge to question the person sitting next to you or standing in front of you. I strongly believed in one thing, which is if you don't contribute to the society or the government or the person and help the person next to you, you don't have the right to question them. So I question government authorities day in, day out through my Facebook page. I bring in, issues which matter in the most constructive criticism fashion on my Facebook page. And I've seen results, that's because they know this guy is not just questioning us, but also he acts on certain things responsibly. So I think everyone should contribute their bit to the society and also question. Then only they should question. If they are not contributing, they shouldn't question. You don't have the right to question.
Good point. Good point, Anil. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Anil, for joining us on this show. All the best for all the initiatives that you do for Anantapur. I'll also let our friends know who are from Anantapur to support you because you definitely need a lot of helping support to make all these things happen.
Thanks, Atan Ravi. It's been a pleasure. I think you have taken me to a wider audience to showcase my work, for which I'm extremely thankful. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, friends. So do connect with Discover Ananthapur if you hail from Anantapur or if you have anything to do with Anantapur where it is close to you, close to any of your family members, and if you feel that you can do a bit to Anantapur, And it is not necessary you have to be from Anantapur. So if you feel that Anil is doing the right thing and you can contribute, so do get in touch, do join the group. It's called Discover Ananthapuram, and support the team. Even one like or appreciation for all the team members of Discover Ananthapuram, which you share, just joining the group, just to appreciate, encourage them, would make a lot of difference to encourage them and take it forward. So thank you, friends. Thanks a lot for watching this show. Thank you, Anil, for joining us on the show. Have a great
Thanks.
evening. Thank you.
Thanks.